Okay, this is, I think this is video number 4, and we're continuing on. We got through the definitions. Now we're chapter 1, interpretation definitions. Imposition of the tax, blah, blah, blah. For 2021, it's 23%. Of course, all these dates are going to change because the fucking bill keeps getting updated every 2 years. Every 2 years, see it? Okay. After 2021, so the first year, and then it's combined federal tax rate, that's the state and the feds, for consumer tax is 14.91. Got it? Going on, general revenue rate, that's what it's called, that's the definition. Because we're still reviewing the definitions here, and we're still going through definitions. 14.91%. That's pretty much what we pay, you know, in our tax. So let's see. Liability for the tax. And we already defined the United States is now included in the 50 states union. So nowhere in that, as it applies to employees, is the United States within the 50. It includes the District of Columbia, and that's it. It includes means specifically. That's just fancy word of art in the legal space. Includes means specifically limited to. Got it? Hard to find that. Anyways. So, liability, blah, 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 United States, except where tax is paid to seller. A person using or consuming tax property in the United States is not liable for the tax imposed. The person pays the tax to a person selling the taxable property. So I guess someone selling cigars or alcohol to someone else, like wholesale, I don't know, that's not going to count because you can't double tax. The whole purpose of this is not double tax it, right? You buy it one time and you're taxed on it. So, and look, here's the trader business purposes. For business purpose of this section, the term trade or business, the term purchased for a business purpose in a trade or business means purchased by a person engaged in trade or business and is used in that trade or business. That's functions of a public office, by the way, in case you're wondering. Look it up, Title 26. Okay, I'm not gonna, Title 26, 7701. Home investment purposes, and for purposes of this section, purchase means property purchase for the purpose of income, but not entailing more than minor personal effort. You know, they're going to make that for everybody now that it's United States. But this is all trade or business, even though it's in the 50 states of the union. It's supposed to be for trade or business if it's taxed. For business purposes. So, business and export purposes, okay. Whatever, it goes on. It's not as confusing as the Title 26 so far. They're not telling us to go to this section, and then that section tells us to go to another section, and that section tells us to go to another section. Okay, look, we got trade or business coming up. Conversion of business or export property serves purpose for, wait for it, a business purpose in a trade or business for export. That's government shit. Functions of a public office, period. Let's see. So we're going to be included in that. We're all government employees. Happy? You like your statism? You like your country? It's better than the Title 26, all right? It's slavery. But it's voluntary. You don't have to buy anything new. You buy a used saxophone. You're not going to get taxed on it. That could be a big thing because some of these vintage saxophones are like $10,000, by the way. Suppose, hey, look, trade or business shit. Defined in section 102, page 21, page 91. Really? 91, really? Let's see here. 97, 94, 91. 91, trade or business. What do you know? Government enterprise shall be treated as a trade or business for purposes of this subtitle. Do you get it yet? Do you frickin' get it? Do I have to turn the phone sideways? A government enterprise shall be treated as a trade or business for purposes of this title. Okay, so there we got a definition. That's section 705 in HR 25, page 91. Okay, set paragraph echo. And then they're also on 21, which we already looked at, right? 21. And there it is. For business purpose. For purposes of this section, the terms purchased for business purpose and a trade or business means purchased by a person engaged in trade or business. See, they don't really tell you what it is till you get to page 91. So you have to read the whole fucking thing just to get the definition of that, because there could be, unless otherwise specifically noted in the, then it's going to defer to their Title 20, the old Title 26, which is now a different thing. It's not called Title 26 anymore. What is it called? It's called the... Oh, look, no funding is authorized for the operation of the Internal Revenue Service after 2023. And finally, the bill terminates the national sales tax if the 16th Amendment to the Constitution authorizing, no, it doesn't. It authorizes an income tax for federal employees, but not for the 50 states of the Union. Specifically, that's what William Taft, president, wrote it, is not repealed within 7 years of the action of the bill. So it's going to terminate, the national sales tax is going to terminate if the 16th Amendment doesn't get repealed. I'm not going to comment on that. I'm not going to jinx it. The business purpose is defined in section 102, page 21. And then bad debt credit. This is all just blah, blah, blah. So you get a bad debt credit. That's the kind of like you just take it off. I don't know if we're going to file. It sounds like we're going to have to file our taxes still. Just shoot me in the head. I'd rather die. Seriously. I don't care how much money I'm making. I'm not like, just shoot me. I'd rather be dead. Let's see. Not like I'm lazy or anything, and geez, I can be like the Addams Family movie. We're gonna do new business. Before we start new business, we gotta take care of old business. Does all the pages and puts his accounting glasses on and his accounting hat and his cigar. Gotta have the cigar, all for doing your taxes and family consumption allowance. It sounds a lot like we're gonna have to file family size determination, 50% support. Jesus. I could have made it really easy by getting rid of all the benefits. It's not like people can say no or yes to this. You have no say in it. This woman does now for the wonderful state of Carolyn Bordeaux, for the wonderful state of whatever. What is it? Georgia. And so that's who replaced the originator of the bill, Rob Woodall, who's been senator over there for like 10 years or so, 11 years. Blue, blue, blue. When he first introduced it in 2013. 2011, Fair Tax Act. And then, it goes all the way back. Before that, I think it was Rob Littlejohn. And then before that, so Fair Tax Act started in 2003. 2003. Monthly poverty level sounds a lot like benefits. Like we're gonna pretend to take care of people. They just have to file their taxes. Smart card and electronic debit. Deposit permissible, of course. Revised registration, blah, blah, blah. Authority. That's the authority. The people who can actually do this, take your property. Any state, maintain a sales tax. Definition of state is where? Means any state. And we already know that's going to be the 50 states of the Union, because the United States is defined as 50 states of the Union now. Not in Title 26, except a patrolling clause and another clause which is specifically limited to that section. But so they talk about state capital letters. That means a federal state, but it should be lowercase if it's for the 50 states of the Union, but hey, whatever. It's constitutional as long as the states are collecting the tax. And I believe that its definition of state, it's got to be lowercase if it's in 50 states of the Union, but if they're talking about, now if it was the state law, then it would be capital. If they're talking about themselves, like California as a state, then it would be capitalized in their code, in their laws. So it's really confusing, but that's how you read the law, and blah, blah, blah. Destination principal tax. Rentals. You got rentals? You want rentals? I wouldn't recommend it. You'd be better off in Bitcoin. You'd be a billionaire. If you put all the money you put in a rental property, even if you put the closing cost of like a $400,000 rental property, or just say $100,000. Let's say a one-bedroom house in northern Texas or something, a $50,000 house. Say a nice granny house in northern Texas, the cheapest place around, or Oklahoma. You'd be better off putting in Bitcoin in 2005. You'd be rich right now. You'd be a billionaire if you put that kind of money that you would put in a rental. Oh, geez. But you know what? I like the kick it test. I like to have stuff I can kick. I like imaginary money. It sounds like the .com bubble. Too good to be true, but whatever. Everybody's got their own comfort level in investing. It really wouldn't have killed me to put a couple grand in it though, when it was like, $20. Back when it was like $27, back in 2005, Bitcoin was like that. Now it's like 33,000. Liable to pay? Are you liable to pay? Who fucking knows? They're gonna make you liable. You're gonna be a government employee, even though it's 50 states. The United States is now defined as the 50 states of the Union in this bill, in this law. Large sellers, $100,000 or more of the taxes imposed. So I guess they remit it at the end of the month. So these are the sellers within the states, and they're going to pay taxes on their sales, and then then the state, they're going to send that to the state, and the state's going to send it to the federal government. See, it's all proxy. Tax fraud snitch rewards program. Hey, look at this. The secretary is authorized to maintain a program of awards where an individual assists the secretary, tax administration authorities in discovering or prosecuting tax fraud, may be remunerated. Remunerated means given money. Remuneration. Engaged in a trade or business. In general, any person liable to collect and remit taxes who is engaged in trade or business shall register as a seller with the sales tax. Of course, everybody's going to be engaged in a government activity called public office. Functions of a public office, that's what trade or business is, and you're going to be made liable. Any person liable. So you're going to be liable. Only trade or business is liable, but everybody's going to be turned into a government employee. All the sellers are. Anyone selling shit, tobacco, 7-Eleven stuff, I don't know, except food maybe, I don't know. Penalties, each person is required to register. So you're gonna have to register with the king, get on the Regis list. Failed to do so, notification tax. I'm not bitching about this too much. And look at the penalty, man. It's not like $5,000 like the IRS would charge for filing the way you want to file. Reckless or willful failure to collect tax. Now, this is the tax collectors, which are the local businesses that so that the state's going to have to enforce that. So the state is the proxy for the government, federal government. Reckless and willful failure. So they got to have penalties, but they're reasonable. 20% of the tax not collected or remitted, $500, $1,000 here, $1,000, 50% of the tax, that's a lot. So they limit it to $1,000, it's nothing. So you could be a nice tax cheat in this bill. $50 late fee, for filing for them. You're required to file a report. This is the people that are selling the stuff, the businesses, small businesses and stuff, selling their stuff. They're going to have to file. This is a great bill. Now, penalty 1% to 24% for late remittance of taxes. Who remits the tax? The local authorities remit it to the state, and the state gives it to the government. They take their cut and they give it to the government. At least it's honest. It's really honest. Look, they even get reasonable late fees for a small business payer. They can easily pay $1,000 if they're late. If they want to be, dickheads about it, they shouldn't be, because it cost $1,000 just to hire an accountant to do their fucking taxes. Probably more than that, or they had to do them themselves and just be in fear and lose sleep over the IRS coming after you. And you got 501E or whatever. I think that might be churches or something. Any person required to collect, so segregated account or whatever, liability for tax matters, and responsible officers. 502, it sounds like some kind of they still have to file something, even if they're nonprofit. Probably burden of persuasion, but you can look into it. This is a summary, believe it or not. This is I'm more than halfway through. It's about 132 pages. Summons determines tax liability. So you could be summoned. Hey, a job for the IRS, finally. And they're going to summon, not you, not individuals, but the businesses selling stuff, brand new stuff. Contemplates criminal sanctions, I don't know what that is. Administrative summons, enforcement, Justice Department. Of course, the Justice Department has to, and the state attorney, they got to have something to do. So they got to do examinations and audits. And then intermediate and export sales tax exemption. Any person liable to remit taxes. You got to provide all your export stuff and sales, and the new sales, they're going to be taxed probably even if your items are being shipped overseas after the guy buys them from overseas, got an overseas buyer. Vending machine exception, ooh, for your junk food junkies, look at that. You don't have to pay a tax on the, if you want to do coins for currency or, and then the limit it's $10 in the vending machine, which in the future, that should last a while. So Japanese people like those vending machines, that have the fancy vending machines, that give you your lunch. Interest rate, federal, these are interest rates. Federal power to levy, seize property, garnish wages. And we'll go over that section after this concludes the 20-minute video here for number 4. Okay, we'll look for number 5, and maybe we'll finish this. Thank you.